Well, aloha everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming to today's live stream and welcome to The Healing Source. This is podcast number 3 in my second series. And today we're going to be focusing on the importance of forgiveness. Now, in this second series, it is focusing specifically on emotions. Of course, this is all about Tao healing and how Tao healing can help us to bring rejuvenation to every aspect of our life. And since we have many different aspects of life, including the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, relationship, then of course there needs to be Tao healing for each of those areas. So this is actually the second in a series of 6 or 7, and each series will include focusing just on one of those other subjects. So very exciting things to look forward to. In this third series, we will be focusing on emotions and the importance of forgiveness. Now, for anybody that's new for the first time, as I always do, I will give you a little overview. Tao healing. Tao is a word that means source. So Tao healing in essence means source healing. And Tao healing is a form of delivery of the most pure positive frequency and vibration to help eliminate or minimize the negative frequencies and vibrations that find their way onto our soul's field. Those negative frequencies and vibrations come to our personal vibration, our field, because of our own negative thoughts, words, or actions that have brought harm to others in this lifetime and in other lifetimes. That's why we have challenges in our life. And the solution to those challenges is to bring huge amounts of positive frequency and vibration to our field. So this should not be new information for anyone. This should be relatively clear. The more good and positive things you do, the better the results, right? But Tao healing is very much like increasing the amount of frequency and vibration 100, 1,000 fold with just 1 or 2 healings. Or if you apply some of the other wisdom techniques, like what I'll be sharing with you today about the importance of forgiveness, you can apply those techniques and also receive significant and powerful results. So welcome to all those that are watching me live. I'm live on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, multiple platforms right now. So welcome to everybody. Thank you for coming. So happy that you are with me here today. So now that I've given that foundation, let's talk a little bit more about forgiveness and the power of forgiveness. Most of us have grown up with cultural belief systems that teach us the importance of forgiveness. You know, forgive your friend, forgive your mother, your father, forgive those that have harmed you. And the overall wisdom is probably the most important that most of humanity does not pay attention to. Speaking for myself, I grew up in a Christian household, and there was topical teachings on this, topical wisdom here and there, but there truly was not any depth of wisdom on it as to the why and how it actually affects us. When I started training with Dr. and Master Sha about 15 years ago, what I became very clear on was that this was one of the most important daily practices, hourly practices that we can possibly do. Dr. and Master Sha is one of the world's most renowned healers, and he does his best to empower us individually to do self-healing. The importance of forgiveness cannot be understated. Very simply put, when we do forgiveness every day, we can significantly minimize our challenges and suffering. How is this possible? The reason is it comes back to the universal laws of universal service. Do a little unpleasant service, receive a little lesson. Do a little more unpleasant service, receive bigger lessons. Do unlimited unpleasant service, receive unlimited lessons. Now, that's a very gentle way of saying, don't hurt others by your thoughts, words, or actions. If you do, you're going to get hurt back. This is the universal law of universal service. Do unpleasant service, get some lessons. Now, there's a flip side to that coin, doing good service. Doing good service is having good and positive thoughts, serving others, benefiting others by your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So naturally speaking, those are going to bring either benefits to our life or challenges in our life. When we have, in this or other lifetimes, offered unpleasant thoughts, unpleasant words, or unpleasant actions to others, then we want to acknowledge that others have been harmed, truly harmed on a significant level. We are talking about emotions. What if you, in this or different lifetime, was a very desired individual? You had all the looks and all the right conditions where you were very desired. And if you grew up in an environment where that was made higher than or bigger than others, then you would potentially look down upon others. And what if, in one of those times, you looked down on someone that was not so desired, not so pretty or beautiful or tall or skinny or whatever the case may be? And what if you said to that person something very unpleasant? That person could have had significant depression, could have taken their life as a result, depending on how unpleasant the communication was. What if it was a long-standing one, where they were a relative or a sibling or something like that, and there was a constant degrading of that person? They then have a lack of self-love. They have low self-esteem. They could have great depression. They could have great fear of other people like you. You could have created in others huge unpleasant emotions without even knowing it. And those choices from this or other lifetimes could be showing up in your environment today. Many of us have challenges in our emotions. We have huge anger. We could be depressed. We could have great fear, constant worry. We could have anxiety. What about grief or sadness, right? There's a list of emotions much bigger than that, but we could be experiencing one or two of those in great preponderance. Tao wisdom recognizes that those emotions, the abundance of those emotions, are not accidental. They're not accidental. They are on your field. They are on your personal vibration because in this or another lifetime, you and possibly your ancestors created those same emotions upon others. 1 + 1 = 2. So now that you understand how those emotions may be so predominant in your field, take a look at your emotions. Are you depressed a lot? Are you angry a lot? Do you fear many things for really no reason? Do you worry so much so that you have just terrible digestion? The root cause of this excess emotion is the negative frequency and vibration on your soul. And the one sentence secret is heal the soul first and the mind and body follows. What does that mean, heal the soul first? That means recognize the negativity on your frequency and vibration is the root of what is showing up in your physical life. It's the root of what is causing your challenges and life experiences. Heal the soul first and the mind and body follows. Remove the negative information, frequency and vibration on your field first. And then the representation of how that shows up externally, the excess emotions, the overreaction, the underreaction, the lack of doing something because of your depression, or the overactivity of anxiety, all of that will transform naturally, because when you minimize or reduce or dissolve entirely the root of it, the frequency and vibration on your field, then that end result will have to change. Heal the soul first, the mind and body follows. So today we're focusing on the importance of forgiveness in relationship to emotions. And I've just given you a very good example of how this or another lifetime you may have thought harmful things about others, spoken harmful words towards others, or offered harmful actions towards others, and the end result was their emotions being negatively impacted. Now you may be experiencing some of that. Forgiveness is recognizing the origin. Forgiveness is about saying, not just saying, I'm sorry in that moment. You want to recognize that even though that moment might have occurred 1 year ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it could have occurred 20 lifetimes ago. It's still messing with you, creating negative experiences in your vibration, in your current life, which means that time is irrelevant as to when it happened. Those souls, their frequency was impacted. Your frequency was impacted. You are quantumly entangled, as the Tao science language would say. And if you want to untangle this entanglement, then you need to apply several of the healing modalities that Dr. and Master Sha has brought to humanity. Now, he did not invent forgiveness, but he, since the moment I have met him, has put great emphasis on the necessity to ask forgiveness from your heart on a consistent basis. Not just once or twice and say, okay, well, why am I still depressed? Why do I still have this unpleasant emotion? That's insufficient. Do you think that when you tell somebody you're ugly, you're horrible, you're going to amount to nothing? Do you think by saying, oh, I'm sorry, once or twice, that their impact is just going to dissolve and go away? It would not in real life right now. Why should it be if you just do it topically? It won't. It will not make any difference. The only way you can truly transform the negative frequency and vibration that's on your soul is to truly ask forgiveness from your heart. That's the only way. So how then do you get to that place? People ask me, well, I don't know what I did. All I know is I'm angry all the time. Well, I don't know what I did. All I know is I'm depressed, and no matter what, I just can't seem to get out of it. I don't know what I did. I just fear everything. What did I do? What do I ask forgiveness for, Paul? I get the variation of that question often. The answer is very simple. You do not have to know what you did. You need to be clear on how it feels. If you know how it feels, then you know how it felt to another. If you know how it feels, then you can authentically ask forgiveness from your heart because you are clear on how much it sucks to have that unpleasant emotion. If you have constant and consistent anger, you know the damage it has caused others. You know it has created great strife in relationship and great discord in multiple relationships. So you need to feel the end result of what you have caused upon others. You don't need to know what you did. You need to feel that end result. And in most cases, you can feel it yourself. Now, in the case of anger, it's hard to feel that end result. You have to actually pause and use your heart and say, that individual, what did they feel? They could have felt belittled. They could have felt inferior. They could have felt degraded and disappointed with themselves and depressed. They could have felt afraid and scared and fearful, which I just repeated. You want to put yourself in the other's shoes. So that's how you get yourself into the right emotional state of mind to do an effective forgiveness. So now let's do an actual practice of an effective forgiveness. For this practice, I'm going to ask each of you to choose one emotion that is the most predominant in your life, that you know you're not enjoying. You would love to change it. That if it were changed, you would be a happier and healthier person. Choose that one emotion. I'm going to choose depression, not because I have it, but because I need to choose one specific one as an example. You plug in yours. If I say the word depression, you plug in whatever emotion you have chosen, okay? Let me clear my voice here. Now, how do we do a good, healthy, depthful forgiveness practice? Step 1. We call the souls of our ancestors, and we call the souls of all of those who have ever been harmed. Why our ancestors? Because we affect our children and grandchildren by our thoughts, words, and actions, and our parents, their parents, and their parents affect us by their thoughts, words, and actions. We are benefited or we are harmed by the combination of how positive and how negative those thoughts, words, and actions are. So when we do forgiveness, when we offer and ask forgiveness, we need to do it well. I can tell right now that I'm going to have to do one more live stream on this topic because it's so important. I'm going to have to go into the 3 different types of forgiveness, which is self-forgiveness, offering forgiveness, and asking forgiveness. I'm not going to have enough time for that today, period. Now, close your eyes. Repeat after me. Dear the soul of my ancestors, I love you. Could you please come? Could you please silently do this forgiveness practice with me? And dear the soul of all humanity, all animals, and all souls, could you please come? I would like to do a forgiveness practice with you. So we're doing this forgiveness practice at the level of soul, because every soul is not limited by time and space. When you communicate at this level, you are assisting with the disentanglement, with the releasing of the entanglement that has occurred between you and these other souls. So let us continue. Dear all of these beloved souls that I have invited, on behalf of myself and my ancestors, from the depths of my heart, I wish to deeply, humbly, from my heart, sincerely apologize our mistakes. I have experienced huge depression in this life. And you plug in your word. It has created great suffering for me. It has created great suffering for the people I care for. I can tell you that I have experienced extraordinarily unpleasant suffering with this. And I now am aware that it may be in my life, in my daily experience, because I or my ancestors caused this same kind of emotion upon you or the people you care about. I can tell you from personal experience I would never, ever wish this kind of suffering upon anyone. I truly would not. It is very unpleasant. But now I am clear that my ancestors may have actually caused you or your loved ones to have this same kind of suffering. And I truly wish you to know, with my head on the floor, with my heart wide open, how deeply and sincerely I apologize. I deeply and sincerely ask forgiveness. I would truly not wish this suffering upon anyone. I am not making any excuses. It is never okay to cause another to suffer. If I have ever spoken unpleasant words towards you, had unpleasant thoughts, if my ancestors have ever offered any unpleasant thoughts, words, or actions, and the end result was you suffering in the same way that I have, again, from the depths of my heart, I ask forgiveness. And to all of those, continue to repeat, to all of those that have offered unpleasant words towards me, not just in this lifetime, but in all lifetimes. I have definitely been on the receiving end of unpleasant words. And I'm sure people have had unpleasant thoughts about me. And I have definitely experienced unpleasant actions towards me that have contributed to the emotion that I'm experiencing. No doubt about it. But I no longer wish to blame anyone outside of myself. I now am clear of the universal laws that if this is in my field, it's a high likelihood I or my ancestors have created it in yours and others. And you may, in this lifetime, have reminded me of my mistakes. You may have created such conditions that I have been blaming you this whole time. And I have not taken responsibility myself. I wish now to stop this old pattern and to offer unconditional forgiveness to all souls who have ever created this unpleasant emotion in me and my ancestors. I forgive you. And if you have harmed me, if I have harmed you, I bow my head again and ask forgiveness for having harmed you first. Let us all release this pain and suffering, stop hurting each other, and let go and forgive. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm going to chant a song right now because it's very important to stay in this energetic space. Because I'm on a live stream, I will not do it very long. But if you are doing this at home, you want to chant 5 to 10 minutes and go into a very depthful space of forgiveness. So I will now chant. I forgive you. Please forgive me. Bring love, peace, and harmony. Bring love, peace, and harmony. And with your eyes closed, see these souls hearing your voice, your compassion, and your authenticity, and see them forgiving you, letting go. See all the souls that have been harmed saying, I forgive you. Open your heart. Forgive others that have harmed you. I forgive you. Please forgive me. Bring love, peace, and harmony. Bring love, peace, and harmony. I forgive you. Please forgive me. Bring love, peace, and harmony. Bring love, peace, and harmony. I forgive you. Please forgive me. Bring love, peace, and harmony. Bring love, peace, and harmony. And this is all we have time for today. But as I said, make sure you go into a deep space, 5 or 10 minutes. There is another song or mantra you can sing, and it's called the Song of Love, Peace, and Harmony. If they've never heard of that before, you can learn about it at the website lovepeaceharmony.org, and you can download that song for free. The copyright has been removed. It carries a very, very healing frequency and vibration, and by playing it in your environment, by chanting this mantra, you could notice a significant difference in the emotional imbalances you may be experiencing. My teacher says that if you want to know if a pear is sweet, then taste it. If you want to know if mantra or the song of love, peace, and harmony can positively affect you, then try it. So in conclusion, the reason forgiveness is so important is it gives us a free opportunity to transform the negativity that is the root of our emotional suffering. Now, this is not to say that taking a pharmaceutical cannot help, or that doing other things cannot help. They can all make a big difference in your life. But the root, in most cases, has not been addressed. And that's why Tao healing is so effective, because it affects the root. Now, in the next several episodes, I will be offering healing for emotions. I have many different ways to offer healing for emotions. So I encourage you to come back over the next few weeks and watch the different ways this healing can occur. When you apply Tao healing, it's like washing off a car that has been sitting in mud with a high-pressure power washer versus trying to wash it off with a squirt gun. Tao healing carries extraordinary amounts of the most pure, positive frequency and vibration that, in essence, eliminates the negativity very quickly. Of course, there are no promises, but I can tell you from 15 years of experience that if you schedule yourself a private consultation, receive some personal healing, there's a very high likelihood your emotional imbalance could significantly change with a little bit of effort on your behalf and a few extra Tao healings. So until I see you next time, have an awesome day, everybody. Bye-bye.